welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. We continue talking football. Well, the launch of the 2024-25 season of the Jamaica Premier League was held Tuesday night at the corporate offices of the title sponsors, Jerry and Nephew, in New Kingston. Owen Hill, the Chief Executive of Professional Football Jamaica Limited, PFJL, the body responsible for the administration of the league, revealed that the upcoming season will see more matches being played.
Looking ahead to the 24-25 season, supporters and fans and mainstream can expect us to pick up right where we left off. A stark difference to the league this year is that we will have the highest number of games ever in the history of the tournament. Let me say that again. We will have the highest number of games ever in the history of the tournament. What that means is we have 39 games to execute. Teams have 39 rounds of football that they will play. 39 games. Young players will get a chance to play. Coaches will get a chance to execute their strategy and tactics. And fans will get a chance to go out and support their individual team. Certainly, at the end of these rounds, the top 6 teams will be playoff bound, so we still keep the playoff format, and then you'll have an ultimate champion at the end of the playoff round. So in building the football ecosystem sustainably, more games will equate to more exposure all around. So last year we experienced just about 150,000 patrons coming through our turnstiles throughout the season. This year, we expect that to be doubled.
Also in attendance at the launch was the General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Dennis Chung. Chung praised the work of the PFJL and credited them for the increase in fan participation and engagement.
I want to bring greetings on behalf of the JFF and say that we certainly welcome the start of the 24-25 JPL season. PFJL, I want to commend, has really done a lot to enhance football through the JPL, showing great enthusiasm. And JFF wants to commend them and say how much we value the partnership.
Well, SportsMax's new chief executive, Mark Corrigan, reiterated the company's commitment to helping with the development of the football ecosystem in the region.
SportsMax stands proudly as the broadcast partners for yet another action-packed season of the J. Ray and Nephew Jamaican Premier League. With viewers in 26 Caribbean territories, SportsMax remains committed to highlighting excellence in sports and displaying the region's most talented athletes on a global stage. The Jamaica Premier League, consisting of 14 teams across the island in the pinnacle of football, but locally and regionally reaffirms the importance of football to the Caribbean region. As we approach this new season, it is imperative to acknowledge the passion and enthusiasm and dedication that runs through the players, coaches, and supporters across these communities. Football truly plays a major role in the growth and development of youth, and in the region, as such, is a significant part of Jamaican culture. It's a source of pride, a unifying force that brings all people together. As a leading sports broadcast in the Caribbean, we understand the significance of our role and our responsibilities in promoting and preserving this wonderful tradition. We are committed to bringing you the best possible coverage of games, showcasing the thrills, the drama, the action, and the emotion that make local football truly unique.
All right, the Jamaica Premier League will be back very, very soon, even bigger and better. We heard from PFJL CEO Owen Hill talking about more matches being played. You know, we heard from the sponsors, we heard from Dennis Chung. Everybody is on board, Ricardo and Lance, and we're getting ready for an action-packed season. I remember the Super Final, which was so good. Had the opportunity to attend with my sister, and it was not only football, but it was football mixed with entertainment, Lance and Ricardo. And it was just a nice day for families to come out and have a really fun time. You got to see top-class football, but you also got to enjoy yourselves a bit. I mean, Ray and Nephew is the sponsor, so I mean, what else do I need to say? But it was such a good time, and I'm so happy and excited to see what happens for this JPL season. Also, we can't help but mention Kaim Dixon, one of the breakout stars for the JPL season last year. So this year I'm looking forward to see which youngster, and I'm not only hoping for one, I'm hoping for many youngsters to do the same like Kaim Dixon. The JPL is a platform that I feel like Jamaicans are so privileged to have, where you get the opportunity to play football, to be seen all around the world, and to get those opportunities like Kaim did. Now he's at Charlton.
Yeah, you know what? One of the main things that they're highlighting for the coming season is the fact that there are going to be more games this season than ever before. The reason for that is because there are 14 teams competing previously, and they are reverting to the 3 rounds of football, which they had prior to the COVID-19 abortion of the 2019-2020 season. So because they're going back to the 3 rounds now, and you have 14 teams in the Premier League as against 12, which had existed previously, that's the reason why you have 39 rounds of regular season football, which I think is a good thing. And SportsMax will be on top of the coverage for sure. And as Murad just mentioned, an opportunity to show a lot of the talent and a lot of the young talent, because we've seen schoolboys now stepping up, or teenagers stepping up in the Premier League and shining. And especially when the schoolboy season finishes in January, the opportunity for them to play more games, because as we know, which we discussed last week, some restrictions in the availability of schoolboy footballers to play in the Premier League while the schoolboy season is on. So I just think that it's a marvelous season that we're heading into, and it's going to be competitive. It's been competitive now for quite some time, and if you look at the quality of performance between some of the top teams like Mount Pleasant and Cavalier and Arnett Gardens, on any given day they can beat each other. So they have to be solid in the regular season and then peak for the playoffs.
Yeah, and the playoff rounds have been brilliant, especially in recent years. I think it has always been, in truth. My only issue with the playoffs is that it's not always the most consistent team for the duration of the season that ends up winning. So you could top the regular season and then be out at the semi-final stage of the playoff round. But having said that, there is a lot of excitement to be had in the playoff round of the competition. And you spoke about more matches, Lance, and Owen Hill alluded to it as well. It is so important because more matches mean more exposure for the players, and not just the ones who are coming out of the high school system or just entering the Premier League. But there are many players who are at a critical stage of their careers who are seeking opportunities outside of Jamaica, outside of the Jamaica Premier League, and more matches, I mean, offers that opportunity for them. Now, when you also think about it from the standpoint that clubs, so we speak about more matches, but when you have more matches, the clubs need money to be able to sustain that over the duration of the season. And one of the biggest money earners for clubs this part of the world, maybe anywhere in the world, but definitely this part of the world, is being able to sell players.
Yeah.
And so the more players that you can showcase to the world and ultimately sell, is the better financial position it will put the clubs in. And I suspect that is all part of the ecosystem that the PFGL and the various stakeholders have been talking about.
Yeah, and you just touched on something there, because I think Jamaican football fans have gotten past the debate with regard to the format.
Fair.
Because most global football national tournaments, domestic competitions, are straight league formats. But there is this appetite for playoffs and quarterfinals, semifinals and finals. But you are right. Regular season teams who are solid have to ensure that when the playoffs start, they retain the good form and keep their form straight through to the end. I don't think there has been a regular season champion of the Premier League since Portmore United won in 2019. All regular season champions since then, including last year, when Mount Pleasant, I think, were regular season
Yeah.
champions, but then lost the final. Regular season champions have not been champions because they haven't been as good in the playoffs as they were in the regular season.
Yeah.
So that is something that fans, or some fans, will still argue that they prefer to see a team who has been the best team over a period of 6 or 7 months of competition being rewarded with the title. At the moment, it's not so. But I don't think most Jamaican football fans argue too much about that because
No.
there is something exciting about playoffs, quarterfinals, semifinals, and a final.
Yeah, it's not as exciting. That's the mere fact. The league format is not as exciting as the playoff format, and that's why I think the playoff format is very much here to stay. Another thing about this Jamaica Premier League season upcoming, which starts on Sunday, by the way, is the number of great stories coming into the start of the season. You think about what's happening at Mount Pleasant at the end of last season. They
Yeah.
parted ways with Theodore Whitmore and his coaching staff. They brought in Harold Thomas after one game in the Caribbean Cup football club competition. He was sent packing and Whitmore was brought back. He's trying to bring back his assistant, who is the head coach at Portmore United. Portmore United and Mount Pleasant need to come to an agreement for the coach to go back to Mount Pleasant. That doesn't seem to be happening, so we're not even sure where he is going to start. We know that he's starting as technical director up at Jamaica College for the schoolboy football season, but we're not sure where Davian Ferguson is starting the Jamaica Premier League season. And so all these storylines in the build-up to the Jamaica Premier League, and I think it just makes it so much more exciting because one of the things is that as a fan, you want something to go and watch and to clutch to. And the coaches battle or coaches battles, I think, help significantly with that. It's not just the players. The coaches can be stars too, although you don't want them to be too much of a star.
Well, when you just start up the show and told the viewers it like that, I have no choice but to just share the fixtures with them and then wrap it up.
Okay.
So, the new season, it kicks off this Sunday. Let's take a look now at the opening matchday fixtures. We have Annett Gardens up against Donbury Holden. Vere United will play Montego Bay United. Portmore United up against Mount Pleasant. And then Tivoli Gardens will be seeing Malines United. Humber Lions, they play Cavalier. Harbourview versus Chapelton Maroons. Waterhouse will be up against Racing United. Well, we have a lot to look forward to. Remember, the JPL is live on the SportsMax app as well as on our channel. So if you haven't downloaded the app, you can do so now. We're going to take a quick break and come right back.